I call my grandmother Oma. That's because she's Dutch. She immigrated to Canada in 1952. Since then, she's made a home and a family on Prince Edward Island. It was there that she met her husband, who is also a recent immigrant from Holland. It was there that together they started a family and built a greenhouse business that still bears their name. My Oma has lived through war. She started working at the age of 13, and at 22, she learned a new language and culture. She knows what it's like to live two different lives, to be both Canadian and Dutch. She's had a good life in Canada, but sometimes she still wonders what life would have been like in the old country.
It's funny, yeah, we lived actually as a family in two different worlds. I mean, you had the first life in Holland and then came here. And I don't think I'm sorry we immigrated, but there were certain things that we missed always in the old country. When I was 10, the war broke out and we went through 5 years of war, not enough to eat, and you know, everything was very scarce. And then after 5 years, it was over. But it was over in name only, want it took quite a few years before everything went back to normal. You couldn't go to the store and buy. You had to have coupons for everything, and every family got only so much, you know. Well, since we had a small farm, we had our own chickens, we had one pig, we had to bring pigs to the Germans every month or so. I don't know how that would, because, well, my father did all that. But we had some pigs, and then one pig was for ourselves. We were allowed, because we say that you brought 5 to the German army. You had to do that. Everybody had to do that. The Germans in 43, so I was only 13, took over the schools and put all the German soldiers in there, you know, to sleep and everything. So they kind of ruined the schools inside. I went to work at that atelier where I worked for 10 years. Because they needed somebody to do errands, just get buttons and things like that, and I did that for that time. In 45, the Americans and the Canadians or so came and, you know, liberated us. And then we had 3 days that we did nothing but go on the street and dance with everybody in the street. And when you was that tired, then you went to bed for a couple of hours and then back to the street to dance. Everybody in the neighborhood could play something, was playing, and the flags were all out, and the whole streets they had made green, what do you call it, you know, crossing the street from one side to the other, and they had all green in it and fake flowers. And now, there was a celebration, and you did celebrate for days at end, till you were nearly dead before you fell in bed. And I think that was the nicest. If we wanted to go back home, then life is not hadn't still there. It didn't stand still there. It changed, and it changed so that you wouldn't fit in anymore, because you didn't grow up with the change.